by members of the National Working Committee on the two reports that are before us, namely the report of the Screening Committee and the report of the Appeal Committee. The NWC is satisfied that all those who participated in this process, they had opportunity to take advantage of the Appeal Committee in line with the provisions of the guidelines as they relate to the conduct of this particular exercise. We have reviewed the two reports. We note with satisfaction that all members of the Screening Committee were unanimous in their decision, and also, significantly, members of the Appeal Committee were unanimous in their decision. As you would have noticed, we deliberately, as I said on the day of inauguration, appointed men and women who, in our judgment, are not only knowledgeable in terms of the academic world, but people who are knowledgeable in law, but also people who are knowledgeable in terms of what our party stands for, the ideals of the All Progressive Congress. And I'm also happy that we have a fair gender balancing or gender sensitivity. We have women in both committees. As you heard earlier in the day, the Appeal Committee listened to the only person who appeared before it, but they also reviewed petitions that were submitted. And on the basis of those petitions, particularly where the facts have to do with documentation that can be verified, they are not oral statements that will require whether or not a man or a woman is lying on oath. It's about documents. And they have reviewed everything, and they arrive at the same conclusion with regards to those who did not skate through the screening. So the NWC has reviewed the two reports, the ground for disqualification and the grounds for qualification. And we are satisfied that the Appeal Committee did a thorough job, and their job has actually enriched or further reinforced the findings of the Screening Committee. And accordingly, the NWC unanimously approved of the report of the Screening Committee and the Appeal Committee, which means that, as recommended by the two committees, Matthew Duekeme stand disqualified for reasons that the committee shared with all of you. We have made this process transparent. You heard from them and they gave their reason. We have nothing to add to those reasons. We also upheld the recommendation that Governor Godwin Obaseki is disqualified, again for reasons that were well stated in both the Appeal Committee report and the additional information supplied by the Appeal Committee. But let me also re-emphasize one important thing that is not about certificates alone. Important as those are, they are by themselves, they are things that are beyond our control. The committee reminds us that they had a petition which draws their attention to the fact that in Edo State, contrary to the provisions of our Constitution, the governor had managed the state and disenabled the legislative wing of the State House of Assembly by inaugurating the House with 9 members out of a House of 24. Subsequently, 1 person was co-opted, and as they rightly acknowledged, 14 people are outside. These 14 includes 2 members of the House of Assembly representing Oredo local government area, which is the local government of the governor. It is unacceptable in a democracy that the executive manipulate and completely disenabled the legislative arm. The committee had noted, and I'd like to just amplify it, that even the president had intervened on this matter when he asked me to advise the Inspector General of Police to take steps to ensure that the illegal house is compelled to inaugurate everybody in accordance with the provisions of the law and the traditions of Parliament. And the governor went to court to obtain a court order to stop the police and DSS from carrying out this instruction, which I duly communicated to the Inspector General of Police and copied to the State Security Services. The Senate President also intervened on this matter. They confessed to the fact that they inaugurated the House without circulating the proclamation letter to all the members-elect. And yet they went ahead to inaugurate a House with 9 persons and left out 15 persons. And these 9 persons purported to have elected Speaker and other officers of the House. The effort made by the Senate President to have a peaceful solution, assuring the governor that he can pick or suggest whoever he wants, effort will be made collectively to ensure that the people vote for that person. In spite of those overtures, the governor remained adamant. He did not stop there. He went ahead to go to court and obtain a court order restraining the Senate President. And later a court order restraining the entire Senate. He also obtained a court order to restrain the House of Representatives. The NWC subsequently set up a committee of governors that was chaired by Governor Danduje. The governor also went to court and obtained a court order to restrain Governor Danduje and other 3 governors who were duly appointed by the NWC to do reconciliation. This document will be made available to you by the organizing secretary if you want to cite them. These are court orders, including a court order to deny governors the right to carry out reconciliation between the governor and those who have issues with him in Edo State. And as we speak, the governor has proceeded. He has since declared the seat, or asked the speaker, of which he had picked, to declare the seat of 14 APC members vacant, and invited INEC to conduct fresh election. This, in the views of the committee, and on reflection by NWC, we accept in total that this is the height of abuse of power. Our democracy is founded on a tripod of executive, legislature, and the judiciary. When a governor decides to muscle the legislature, then democracy is dead. Because even under dictatorship, you will always have a governor, whether military or civilian. You will always have a judiciary. What is usually missing is elected parliament. So it is inconceivable that in a democracy, particularly in a party that prides itself, as we do, as All Progressive Congress, a progressive party, that Edo State is being run by the executive without the benefit of a properly constituted parliament. This we viewed seriously, and therefore, in addition to the other iniquities and contradictions that border some forged documents and inconsistencies that were amplified, NWC accept the recommendation that Governor Gov Obaseki will be ineligible to participate in the forthcoming primaries in Edo State. Can you give me a copy of the Constitution? Where's Paul? We have cleared 3 persons to contest the governorship election in Edo State that will participate in the primaries in Edo State, including Honorable Pius Odubu, Mr. Osaro Obaze, and Pastor Osagi Ize Iyamu. We have read from some speculations in some social media and even print media as to whether or not the National Working Committee has the authority to carry out these activities. I refer everyone who cares to know, because we are conscious that we are accountable not only to APC leadership and APC membership. In a democracy, the political parties are also accountable to the populace, in this case, the Nigerian people. Order Section 13, subsection 13.4, Article 4. Are you sure you show me the right section? Yeah, Article 14. It says, and I quote, part of the duties and responsibilities of the National Working Committee includes organize primary elections for the nomination of each presidential candidates, governorship candidates, and candidates for election into the national and state assemblies. So the responsibility to carry out this exercise are fully vested in the National Working Committee, and we have exercised these responsibilities to the best of our ability. Perhaps it remains for me to simply say, but we have not done anything new, different from what was done by my predecessor's leadership, Oda Oyegu. The NWC Oda Oyegu took charge of the election of The NWC had managed, in line with that provision, let me just quote the recent ones. The election conducted in Ekiti State, was done by the NWC. It was a by-election. The election done in the one we did in Kogi State a few months back was exactly managed by the NWC. And of course, the one we painfully won, we joyfully won, but painfully lost in Bayelsa State was conducted by the NWC. It would not be necessary for me to speak to this, but because of the sponsored disinformation, deliberate misinterpretation of APC constitution by those who want to create disaffection, disunity, and weaken the leadership of this party, I thought it is necessary not only to remind us that we haven't done anything different from what we have done before. I needed to quote this section just by way of a reminder. I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all our members across the country, all our leaders across the country, and in particular, our members in Edo State, that on the 22nd of June, we will do everything possible to ensure that we conduct a free, fair, direct primaries in Edo State. And I believe we are not strangers to that, and I believe they will comply with it. Has to do with is under page 86, other punishment and hearing of hearing members. It says, and I quote, any member who files an action in court of law against the party or any of its officers on any matter or matters related to the discharge of the duties of the party without first exhausting the avenues for redress provided for in this Constitution shall automatically stand expelled from the party. On filing such action, and no appeal against expulsion as stipulated in this clause shall be entertained until the withdrawal of the action of the court, until the withdrawal of the action from the court by the member. So we have invoked this section with regards to Mr. Matthew Idiwekeme, who went to court, and one Mr. Asekome, who until this expulsion was deputy state chairman of APC. Within the last 2 months, he has taken the party to court virtually every other week. Right now, he is a party to about 4 court cases against the party without attempting to take advantage of the internal mechanism within the party to resolve whatever issues that he was unhappy about. We feel that this constitution will not be worth its while if its provisions are not fully adhered to. So we have done it, and we stand by it. I want to thank you all. I appreciate that this is a difficult time. I know there's a curfew, but I also know that you have a pass, because if there's any service that is essential, the media is easily one of the most essential services, because news occur, whether good or bad, 24/7. May God protect you as you return to your various home or return to your various stations. Thank you very much.